Hi Capricorn, this is going to be your Sun, Moon, and Rising video for February 2026. I have with me today, this is a final stretch, I have with me today the Radiant White deck, the La Vida Sibila for clarification should we need, and the Psychic Oracle Tarot to wrap up the reading. Please check back to your Moon and Rising sign videos, as sometimes the Sun sign video doesn't resonate with you. So let's get started with the reading. I have already done some meditation and shuffling on your sign and glyph. So let's get started. That flew out. A rifle. And cut the deck. This would be 9 cards down. Let's see what flew out. It was the Lover's card. I don't read reverse cards. That's not the way the Golden Dawn read cards, and I'm sticking to the Golden Dawn system. But I feel that if there's something negative, the cards are going to show them anyway. I just can't, reverse cards don't speak to me. So, next card down, 3 of Swords. Page of Swords. Next row, Judgment. Five of Swords. Five of Cups. Last row, 4 of Wands. Ten of Wands. And finally, we have the 7 of Cups. What is over the entire reading? The Page of Pentacles. That's odd. So let me take a look at what the cards are trying to tell me, so I can formulate the story. I have 2 major arcana. 1, 2, 3 swords, 2 cups, 2 wands, and 1 court card in the spread proper itself. I don't think I know that this is a story about a relationship, a romantic relationship, possibly one that was going to be heading into marriage, but things have changed. I have 2 5s, so something has changed. And so the Knight over here has entered the picture to move the situation along. It may be a long time coming, but this is a breakup for sure. And the Knight talks about, it's a pentacle, so it's about money or it's about doing something different. But it's a long time coming. This is the slowest Knight in the deck. He doesn't move very fast. So it says that either you're going to be doing something differently or your money's going to be different because of the breakup. So right in the center, we have the 5 of Swords. And this 5 of Swords is, everything is going on around the 5 of Swords. First off, it's a 5. And 5s always talk about changing energies, tense, terse, ups and downs. And it speaks about possibly losing someone or something very close to you. It talks about arguments and fights with someone. If you can see, the person in the video in the card is in the foreground. That's usually you. It says that this is a victory card, where you have been in an argument with someone and you may have won the argument. But it also warns you to not fight too much with whoever, because they will stoop to any level to win. It says that if people have been misaligning you, saying bad things about you, definitely stand up for yourself, but you have to know when to stop, okay? When to cut them off. I have 2 5s here. The cards are read past, present, future, with the interplay of the cards. So where I got a relationship that may have turned into a marriage or an engagement, here is a past role, because I have the Lovers, Judgment. I guess somebody changed their mind, okay? And Judgment doesn't just talk about taking a long look at your life and the role you have played in the situation you find yourself in. It also tells you to use your judgment. So somebody made a decision, which is what the Lovers card is all about. It's Lovers card can represent, yes, a relationship, one that is loving and kind, but it can also represent mismatched energies between two people. But for me, what the Lovers card always represents is a choice. And it says you have to choose carefully, because the consequences will reverberate for a long time. It will change everything. So somebody changed their mind about getting engaged or moving in together or whatever. Across the top row, we have the Lovers. We also, it's a 6, so it represents the energy of love, balance, and harmony. Next to it is the 3 of Swords. And 3s always say there's a possibility of 3 people involved in a situation. So maybe someone was, I don't want to say cheating, maybe someone was stepping outside of the relationship. It also says you can expect delays and postponements before future successes are realized. But the 3 of Swords is really about, it's an emotional card. Somebody stabbed you in the heart. But it's a quick kind of thing. It doesn't last because it's a 3. And it represents bitterness, resentment, lies, trickery. Somebody hurt you to the quick. They said something, or I don't want to say did something. They said something, because swords represent thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas, communication. So somebody said something to you, or the thoughts were there, and it hurt you very quickly, to the quick. But the 3 of Swords also has a sense of vision. It says there will be short-term pain for long-term gain. So maybe this was, I don't want to say fated. Maybe this will be a blessing in disguise and you don't know it yet. And I see, to me, actually the energy on the top row runs back this way, because you get the message. The Page of Swords is a messenger. He can be pretty nasty character too. And he says something that hurts your heart. And you make a decision, or he makes a decision to call it off. Makes a choice to do something different. We come down to the 5 of Cups. And so you are, here you are, You are mourning your loss. It represents bitterness, sorrow, feeling sorry for yourself, thinking on the past. And the card says, don't waste your time and energy thinking about the past, because there are 2 cups on the other side. I call this the 2 of cups in disguise. All you have to do is turn around and face the other direction. Quit facing the past, and you can find happiness. All is not lost. I think someone is having to move too, because I have 3 depictions of houses here. So I really think somebody is going to move out, or you have to move out. See the house back there? The 5 of Cups, 5s also say, don't give up, because you're about to achieve something that you never thought possible. So the 4 is represents a stable foundation. This card, 4 of Cups, represents to me, it's called a shacking up card. It's not a marriage card. It just maybe 2 people living together, or thinking about moving in together, or sharing a space together. But it also talks about doing what you love and love what you do. Celebrate what you have won. Celebrate your wins, because you worked hard. Even if it's a relationship, you have worked hard to put energy into it, time into it. Okay? So celebrate that, because you have something to give. Maybe it's not with the person you thought it would be, but you do have something to give. It also says there's a possibility that a relationship will go to a deeper commitment or marriage. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry, I'm just going to tell you. We have the 10 of Wands. It's a 10, which is a focus on the completion of events. I see this as a moving card sometimes. Look at the card. It talks about doing things for people that you shouldn't do. It talks about that can cause resentment, anger, isolation, where you're doing things for people that you shouldn't be doing. That negates them from learning their lesson of karma, a cause and effect. You know, you cheated, so this is why I'm leaving. Or you lied, and this is why I can't trust you. This is why I'm leaving. So, I always say this card looks like a burden, but I don't consider it a burden card, because the wands are carried in the front and not on the back. And you have so many things that you have to get done with this. You're carrying all these things around. You're doing too much. So I always say, if you can divide the wands in half, that means decide what's really important for you to make this transition. Because some things may not be so important, right? So you have to decide what's more important and put down 5 of the wands. Then you can see where you're going. Sometimes I see this, I think, I swear this is somebody's going to move. But the ending card is the 7 of Cups. And 7s always represent spiritual numbers. And it says you must take a break, step back from the situation before you move forward. It also talks about confusion. Like the 10 of Wands, the 7 of Cups says you have too many choices to choose from. You have temptation, self-actualization, property, riches, peace, and power. But there's a 7th thing up here, unidentified. So if you can pick what you need that's most important, some of these will fall away. You may not need riches right now. You may need peace. You know? It talks about illusions delusions, building castles in the sky, like you were thinking about the marriage, how wonderful it was going to be. You're building castles in the sky. But it says that you can expect a surprise. It doesn't tell me what kind of surprise. It's just a surprise. Okay? Maybe the fallout from this will be the surprise. It also says, don't worry too much about what's going to happen, because usually the Seven of Cups, once you become clear on what it is you need or want, everything will work out just the way it should. Yeah, somebody is sad because a choice was made not to live together, not to take a relationship to a deeper level. But here you have to realize, I tell people all the time who come to me for personal readings, in a relationship, you are the most important person in the relationship. If it's not the right relationship, if the person doesn't treat you right, doesn't share with you their money, their time, their love, their energy, they keep holding back for some reason or hiding things. We never really know a person fully, even if we're married to them for 40 years. That's how you find some people, they find out that their husband or spouse has been cheating for like 15 years and the kids aren't theirs. You never really know a person fully. They say until you live with them. But even then, people keep secrets. They hide things. Sometimes they hide things so that you won't be hurt. But sometimes mostly they hide things to be selfish. Keeping it to themselves. So think about that. And I'm going to look at what I was trying to say was the Judgment card. There's an announcement coming. See the flag and the horn? You're getting the message, an announcement. I think you're going to be stunned and surprised and confused when it happens. And this whole row is nothing but conflict and struggle. The middle row. So you have to use your judgment and look at the situation and how you played a part in what happened. It may be that you saw red flags, but you chose to ignore them. Or you put the person on a pedestal and they couldn't live up to expectations. So that says something about you. Why did this person do this to me? This is a lesson. You have to look at yourself and figure out what made you attractive to this person. What did person say, did do, or how did they look? How do you attract this person in your life? That says, I have a few things to work on about myself than it does them, okay? So, I can look at every card except the page because it's a court card. I can look at the Three of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Four of Wands, the Ten of Wands, the Seven of Cups, as they relate to the Lovers and the Judgment card. Okay? Always remember, you are the most important person in a relationship. It's not selfish to think that way. If you're not getting your needs taken care of in whatever fashion, that's not the person for you. We look at the Three of Swords first. The Three of Swords with other swords around. Remember, we have this. Next to the Lovers is a strong indication that a close relationship is coming to an end. I think that's a surprise. The Five of Swords implies a separation, permanent breakup of a partnership or relationship of some kind due to the choices made by another. It may be telling of the breakup or severance of an important relationship or partnership and indicates the abrupt parting of ways. This is saying somebody's being called to a new life. See, the people are sitting in sarcophagi, being called to a new life. And you may never understand why. The Five of Cups next to the Judgment, it is an indication that karmic conditions or karmic lessons have been well learned and have passed. The way is now clear for new endeavors. Bright blessings are on their way into your life. 2 5s speak of new experiences ahead. That's given right here. Because the Knight has arrived to tell you you have to do something new. And don't be doing the same old thing. The Four of Wands doesn't tell me anything, but is a warning that you may not be paying attention to important people and issues in your life. It's asking you to be aware of your attitudes and behavior and change them accordingly. But be grateful for all that you have. That's like this. And that's why I feel it's like that. You know, you don't get the home you want. You don't get the relationship you want. The Ten of Wands nothing but the Seven of Cups with the Lovers. This is weird because it says when the Seven of Cups appears next to the Lovers, it is a message to take someone close into consideration when making choices and decisions, as there are imminent changes coming into your life. Be thoughtful of others' wants and needs during this transition. There is room enough on the path for two, but it just may not be who you want it to be with. It indicates your life's path is broad enough for two. It says you may be deluding yourself with unrealistic and unobtainable dreams. That you need to focus on yourself and not scatter your energies and use common sense. And suggest developing a plan before taking further action, and that a review of past action need to be made. Okay? So this is what the cards are saying. I don't need to pull extra cards on this. This really looks like someone is going to break up, a severance of a relationship. It doesn't matter what kind of relationship. I say romantic because it has a feel, but it could also be a business partnership. I don't think so. It doesn't feel that way. So let's pull a Psychic Oracle Tarot. Sometimes the Page of Swords speaks about, let me see what the timing is. I want to be sure about it. Within a week or a day. It relates to people born 20th to the 28th of February. It actually says 2 years, but that's not the timing that I'm looking for. And with many other swords, it indicates pressures, tension, stress, and concerns. I think this could be a situation where let me see about the Three of Swords. Because the 3 and the Page make 4 swords. So you haven't heard from somebody. Maybe that's an issue. You're wondering what they're doing. It says the Three of Swords, if you've been waiting on some important mail, information on or documents, the Three of Swords tell you that it's on your way. Be careful not to become quarrelsome, as this will lead to arguments and upheavals, misunderstanding, and upset. You're asked to keep your emotions in check. The Three of Swords is the message to feel positive, as bigger and better circumstances are ahead of you. You will be given opportunities to start fresh. Any project or ideas that have been present in your life, new perspectives will be looked into and positive actions taken. It can indicate yourself or someone very close may be experiencing second thoughts or a change of heart, which in turn will bring about a change in attitudes or behavior. I think this is the most important interpretation of the Three of Swords. There is a focus on separation and loss, and implies that you may be experiencing difficulties in a relationship that could lead to separation. The cause of these difficulties are likely to be jealousy or interference by a third party. And there are 3 people in the center of this card. So let's pull. I'm sorry to tell you, but this looks like a breakup. It's been a long time coming. I think that whoever it is has been doing something different all along, and they just now find the strength to tell you about it, or maybe you found out on accident. I'm gonna cut the cards again. But someone is definitely gonna be moving out. Number 13, transformation. This is the Death card. And there we have it. A time of endings is close at hand. Don't resist the abrupt changes that are suddenly happening in your life. These could be taking place in your personal life, relationships, business, or career. You have the strength, as the transformation card asks you to have courage and to know that renewal follows every conclusion. This card comes forth to remind you that the death of an old way of thinking and believing must occur before you can move forward on your new path. Transformation is all about the ebb and flow of life cycles. Nothing in this life remains emotionless. Everything is on its way to somewhere. Accept the changes, and opportunity will come to expand you in more ways than you could ever imagine. Don't live in the past. It's time to move on. In order to take the next positive step, you should look closely at your own life and ask yourself, are there loose ends that need to be tied up? This card and this card. Are there people in my life whom I need to express myself to? What needs to be completed so I can have a fresh start? When you do so, you have a stronger, more reinforced foundation to carry you through the new beginnings that await you. This is the death card. So that's why I didn't pull any extra cards, because it's clear to me. I hate to be the bearer of bad news to someone, but that's what's going to happen. Okay, there we go. So good luck and namaste. And hold your head up.